Hello, good day. Today in this class we're going to look at some aspects in algebra process. So we're going to look at three terms. These three terms are very key when dealing with algebra process, when dealing in algebra process. Now the three terms we're going to look at today comprises the coefficient of an algebraic term. We're going to look at the meaning of coefficients of an algebraic term. We're going to look at additive inverse as well as multiplicative inverse. Those are the things we're going to look at here. They are very key, especially when you are handling the algebra process. So first, let's look at the meaning of coefficients. Now, in mathematics, in maths, a coefficient is a numerical value attached to an algebraic term. So we can say algebraic term here in mathematics. When you see here algebra, it means an algebra is a branch of mathematics that uses letters or symbol to represent numbers. So that's why we say algebraic term. So any number that multiplies an unknown terms or an algebraic term in either in an equation or an expression, such a numerical number is referred to as what? Coefficient in mathematics. So a coefficient could either be a whole number, a positive whole number, or a positive or a negative whole numbers. It could as well be a negative decimal numbers or positive decimal numbers. So a numerical and a coefficient can be either of the two. So let's look at examples. Let's trace our illustration. How do we identify a coefficient in an algebraic term? So let's look at let's have here expressions. We have expressions, coefficients, and let's use x here. Then we also have a coefficient of y. So in these expressions, we have expressions here. Here we have let's 3x minus 5y. So if you look at the number that multiply the unknown term here is x, and the unknown term here is what? Y. So these two unknown terms, they are also known as the algebraic terms. So if you look at the coefficient of the number that multiply or attached to s here, or the number that multiply s here is 3. So the coefficient of s here is what? Is 3, and that of y is minus 5. So let's look at another example. We have y plus 3 over 4y. So you see, in this case, you see that the coefficient of x is half, and that of y is 3 over 4. So this is how to know to determine the coefficient of a number. This is how to determine a coefficient of a number. That's the simple meaning of coefficient. So in this video, this is what we're going to do here, knowing how to find a coefficient of a number. So it can come in any way. This is just an introduction process. Okay. Now, having explained the meaning of a coefficient, let's look at the other thing we have here. The other thing we have here, which is additive inverse. Additive inverse. Okay. The additive inverse of a number is usually obtained by multiplying the given number by minus 1. By what? Minus 1. That's how to obtain additive inverse. Then let me use our numbers line to explain. Here we have here, this is our number line. The 0 is a reference phrase. We go to our right here, all are positive. So for instance, if we have 4 or 5 as a number, let's say 5 as a number, positive. For us to just obtain the additive inverse of 5, you come here, you write, from here they are all negative, minus. Here are all positive. From 0 to right, positive. From 0 to your left, they are negative. So the additive inverse of minus 5 is of plus 5 is minus what? Minus 5. And one of the property of additive inverse is that if you have a number, the sum of a number and its additive will usually give you 0. So we have 5 here as a number, and we said the additive inverse is minus 5. So 5 plus minus 5, that will give us 5 minus 5, and is equals to what? 0. That is one of the properties of additive inverse. So it's very simple. So if we have a number here, let's say we have a numbers and the additive inverse have 5, the additive inverse will be minus 5. If we have minus 5 over 8, the additive inverse will be what? 5 over 8. So by the time you add them together, they will give you 0. That is the simple explanation of all additive inverse. Okay, now let's move on to the very last one here, which is the what we call multiplicative inverse. Another name for multiplicative inverse is reciprocal. It's called what? Reciprocal. So take note, that's another word for reciprocal. For additive multiplicative inverse is what? Reciprocal. Then the reciprocal of a number, or multiplicative inverse of a number is obtained by inverting the given number, or using 1 to divide the given number. For instance, if S is a number, then the reciprocal of S is 1 divided by X, which simply means, which is the same thing as 1 over X. So given any number, the reciprocal or multiplicative inverse is 1 over the number. So it simply means that which number will you use to multiply S to give you 1? So the another definition is that a number that will multiply itself to give you 1 is called reciprocal. So that is for multiplicative inverse. For additive inverse, which number, a number that you add to itself to give you 0 is the additive inverse of the number. So if we have a number, what I simply mean here is that if you are looking for the reciprocal of a number, what you need to do, you write the denominator as the imposition of the numerator and the number that appear in the numerator in the position of the denominator. That is how you find the reciprocal or the multiplicative inverse of a number. And one of the properties of multiplicative inverse is that the product of a number and its multiplicative inverse must give you 1. Like I said, if S is a number, then the reciprocal of S is 1 divided by S, which is 1 over X. So now S is the given number and the reciprocal is what? 1 over X. So the product of X times 1 over X. Let's see, if it gives us 1, that means our answer is what? Correct. So this is one of the property of what? Additive and multiplicative inverse. So properties. Okay, properties of additive and multiplicative inverse. So if S is a number, then the additive inverse of S, if S is a number, the additive inverse of S will be this, minus X, so that we see that X minus S will give us 0. So if X is a number, then the multiplicative inverse of S will be what? 1 over S. So S times 1 over X will give you what? 1. These are the properties. This is for what? Additive, and this is for multiplicative. So this particular aspect of algebra process is very key. So this aspect, coefficient, we have to be very conversant with it. Because in our next video, we are going to do simultaneous equations. In the linear equation we are making use of all these things. They are very important. So it's good that you acquaint yourself with them. All right. So in all, we are able to look at the meaning of the coefficients, additive inverse, multiplicative inverse. So please, let's take note of all this. When we are going to look at other aspects, like I said, we're definitely going to make use of them. Okay, please do take your time off, comments, share, and as well subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, and stay safe.